Hey, Tony Beers. Wow. We have been having such a great time at Tony B's Festival. Yes, the one-day virtual media conference where content originators are meeting content distributors. And today, our guest is a content originator. Yes, we have the author of children's books, which is called Blessings for Living, books to educate, inspire, and entertain. These are books that help your children as you educate them and inspire and entertain them about the beautiful lessons to learn that most parents want to share with their kids to teach their children, like things like making good choices, loving themselves, and doing their best at all they can do. And so, without further ado, my good friend, author, and the president of Blessings for Living, Miss Elena M. Neely, publisher and author. How you doing, Elena?
Hey, Tony B. Been a
Welcome.
minute.
Yes, so great that you could join us today. We just want to take the opportunity to highlight the things that you're doing, and more importantly, to inspire those future authors who may want to get into this space, sort of take them through your journey of getting not only one book published, which was your first one, and now you have a new one out, Blessings for Living, the Best of Being. And I just want you to take us through sort of how that came about. So why don't we start off with the first question, which is simply, how did you come up with the idea of Blessings for Living, and more importantly, why?
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to talk about this book series because it was all in an effort to help. And it's all about giving back, right? And it's, what do you give back? Well, the best thing you can give back is the lessons you've learned over time. And we've learned quite a few lessons, but a lot of times we learn them the hard way, and we don't learn them until much later in life. And so this was an effort to get these lessons into our kids at an early age in a form that they could understand it. So it's, how
Wonderful.
do you teach your children about thinking, kind, listening, learning, doing your best in a way that is exciting for them? So that's why we say we enrich and entertain at the same time.
Wonderful. And so this was a seed planted into you. Did you have a revelation? Were you walking along and had an epiphany? How did it come to be a thought?
Well, that's great that you asked. I always felt blessed to have children. I don't know about you, but you learned a lot from your kids as you were raising them. You learned about yourself. You learned about things that you didn't know you could actually achieve. And then you just start thinking about what you can do. So the word blessings for living is really not blessing, but blessings. Because when you share your life lessons, you become a blessing. And
Amen.
therein lies blessings for living.
Wonderful. It's super exciting. Tell us about some of the characters in Blessings for Living. Is it everyday characters, or do they have names, or did you give them personalities?
Yes. So there are no characters, but there are two people. And these two people that are on the covers of the book are who we are as people. They don't look black, they don't look white, they just look like young kids. And the series entitles 3 books. And as they grow, you could literally see them grow in age as the books go on. So the first one, if I might say,
Yes.
is Planting Seeds of Greatness. That's some of your basic understanding. The second one is The Best of Being. That means being positive, being careful, being a friend, those kind of things. So you're getting a little complicated. And then the last book, which is called Always Remember and Never Forget. These are bigger concepts like the power of one, believing in your dream, and things like that. So these the characters in the book are for them to see themselves, the reader
Yes.
to see themselves, not to actually see a person.
I love that concept, and it's universal, and it can be interpreted into different languages in different countries. And so it is a global concept. What's exciting about this is that it does have a series and it can go forth. So, one of the attributes of being a Tony Beer, I'll actually tell you all of them. There are four that anchor. So, to be a Tony Beer, you first have to have a positive attitude. The second one is that you must be working on your personal goals. The third one is you have to have a spiritual foundation. And the fourth, above everything else, is you must be of service to others. So I'm hoping that your characters in your book can maybe incorporate some of those traits they seem like they're already doing, because Blessings for Living is all about the blessings. I wonder if you could speak about your inspiration from God and how that shapes you as an author and a publisher, and running your own enterprise.
Well, that's beautiful too, that you even asked that question because I am a believer. I have had this in my heart for many years, and it was something that I know was ordained just by how I came about the publisher, how I came about the name, how I came about the illustrator for the books. It was no question that he was in the mix. My first book was published by Noah's Ark Publishing.
Okay.
And it just happened to happen that way. My illustrator just happened to be a praise and worship leader at his own church, right? And so it just happened, these things just happen. And when I started the company, I told the Lord, I'm not going to worry about who's going to publish it. I'm just going to do it, right? And it just so happened that my first book was published through COVID, right in the middle of COVID. I was able to get it out, but then it was like not worrying about who was going to publish the second one. I decided to be my own publisher. So right in the middle of COVID, when there is no hope or anything like that, I decided I would start my own publishing company. And so God was there at every step of the way. And just the thoughts in the books, they are inspired. There were
Yes.
times where I couldn't even write. I couldn't figure out what to write, but I waited and I just trusted and they just flowed. They just flowed.
Wonderful.
So he's that ever present, and you'll see how it turns into something more. And I
Yes.
like it. Yeah.
Well, that's a great concept, turning into something more, because it started out with an idea. You obviously had some obstacles, COVID-19 being another one. And I just want to say that Tony B. Fest and Tony B. Media Group was all launched right in the middle of COVID. In fact, I think we had gone on air maybe 4 weeks and then COVID hit. So I too know that during troubled times, you can get new ideas out there. So that brings me to the point where you are now. You self-publishing. I wonder if you could share with the listening audience how they can get your books, where they can get your books, and say the names again of the books.
Sure. Thank you. My books are under the umbrella of Blessons, Blessons, for living. And each one has a subtitle, but they're on Amazon, but they're also at my site, blessingsforliving.com. And again, you can get the whole series, or you could just take one at a time. And the first one is Planting Seeds of Greatness. The second one is The Best of Being. And the third one is Always Remember and Never Forget. So those are 30, a total of 30 blessings. These are life lessons that you can teach your children now.
Wow, 30 blessings in the series. So, Tony Beers, you need to go out and get those. They're great for gifts, birthday presents, all kinds of celebrations where kids are involved. where you can slip them some nice information in a format that they know. And more importantly, you can read to them, share with them, and then have them share with their friends. So we want to get this global message out. I'm sensing that this can develop into something television related, streaming, some type of series. Have you given thought that as this grows, that you may move this into something animated and or just for TV video?
You know, Tony, I have to tell you that I am popping on the inside with ideas. And I am excited to say I'm retiring from my day job to explore all the opportunities that exist. And to answer your question, I absolutely do. And it's already turning into a Sunday school curriculum. I'm currently working with a Sunday school that are absolutely taking these lessons because they're so intertwined with what you can find in the Christian Bible. So then you can put the two and two together, and you are actually teaching your children life lessons when they go to Sunday school, and they're tying right into the Word of God. So it's so exciting. And I just want you to know that I just appreciate you so much for having me here today.
Oh, believe you me, this is a great opportunity because a lot of things that we're entwined with being a Tony Beer is, the church and the Word of God. So it's right in line with what we're doing. In fact, I'm so excited about all your principles that I believe you have met every criteria for a Tony Beer. I mean, you are positive. You're working on your personal goals. You have a spiritual foundation. And above all, you're being of service to others. So I officially christen you here in this interview at Tony B Fest that you now are an official Tony Beer.
Woohoo!
Yes, that's super exciting, and we're very happy
Thank
about
you.
that. Wonderful.
Thank
Hi, this is Mick Reed, CEO of Clippin. We hope to see you at Tony B Fest. To sign up, go to Tony B.
you.
So Tony Beers out there, and all you newcomers, go and get these books, Blessons for Living, and share them. Push the word out. Get on social media, invite and share, let people know. And Tony Beers, talk to your churches. Is your Christian leader of education seeking new material? Are there opportunities to get the kids and read to them from this book series? Come on, let's support, let's get behind. This is something that's very, very important. And I can say to you today that Tony B will be keeping an eye on your series. We'd like to certainly have you back at future Tony B Fest to share with us how you're growing and how things are going. And certainly, I'm sure there's a series coming out of it that's some form of animation and or
Thank
video.
you.
And so we want to send those good vibes and good blessings to you today regarding that. So, like everything, there are challenges. What would you say was the biggest challenge of getting this book series out and becoming the president of your own company?
Well, I will say that things are ideas before they actually happen. And for me, it was always making the time. And so what I did was a lady at our church has started her own coaching company, life coaching company. And that means she helped you achieve your dreams. In fact, her company is called Amazing You. And I decided I would invest. I would take money instead of spending it eating out. I would invest in a coach. And I let her know this is what I could afford, but I want to be your customer. And I guarantee you, I will be a success for you. And for the last 3 years, I have met every 2 weeks with a Christian life coach who we spend an hour and she just talks to me about what did I want to achieve the next 2 weeks. And from the time we started talking until now, I have written a total of 4 books. I have become a publisher, and I total believer in having an accountability partner.
Wow, There it is, Tony Beers. If you want to know the secret, a great takeaway from this session, this master's class with a publisher and author running her own company, is that you have to have an accountability partner. You have to be responsible to someone, a group of people, to hold you accountable for the things you say you're going to do instead of saying you're going to do them. Someone actually is putting you to task and giving you a date and a time and a target to make it happen. So that is one great nugget that we can take away from this interview. As we wind down, because we don't want to take too much of your time, and Tony B's are very excited to have you as part of the agenda. Where do you see yourself if you could crystal ball 5 years from now? What are one or two things on that list that you would like to have checked off as life goes that you did complete?
Well, I would like to say that I really trust in, and because the Lord has evolved so much, I am open to whatever. But what I expect is to have my Blessings for Living series in retail outlets. I expect to have it in church Sunday school programs because it's so important. And I expect it to be in other places other than the United States. So my goal is to have it in other languages.
Wonderful. So I tapped into that early on, seeing it as a universal product. It is. These lessons learned actually have been passed down through years. They're usually verbal. They're usually, older aunts and uncles and parents as well sharing. So this is just crystallized in book format to take that to the masses. And so we really are excited for you and for your future in that. I want to just share one last thing as we go out that you could share with the audience. When one is faced with an obstacle and it seems insurmountable as people are having their various issues with COVID-19 and et cetera, some people are not coping well. Is there a parting word you would like to say to that person who perhaps is thinking about giving up today? What would you share with them?
I would share that you are special and you were created uniquely. There's no one else like you, and you have something to share. And so I would focus on being grateful for the thing that you have, what you have been given, even if it's just your smile, and share it. That's what I
Wow,
would say.
that is incredible. So, Tony Beers and newcomers, you are special. You are valued. You are appreciated. You're needed. You're wanted. Stay here, be amongst us, and give us the great blessing that God has given you. This has been a master class with a publisher and author who just decided one day, you know what? I'm going to get a life coach. I'm going to get an accountability partner. I'm going to put my ideas down and I'm going to keep going forward no matter what. And so we have been blessed by Elena Neely. You can go to her website and get all her information. Go ahead and give that website again as you say goodbye to all the Tony Beers and newcomers.
Okay, thank you. And before I go, I just want to say one of the jingles in the book that parents can actually sing to their children. And it's a blessing is a lesson shared. It's a blessing to share, a blessing to care. Always remember and never forget. Blessings flow to help you grow. Oh, what a blessing it is.
Oh, that's exciting. And how would one reach you again?
They can reach me at Facebook. I'm on Facebook for Blessings for Living, Instagram, and also my site, which is blessingsforliving.com. And again, I'm on Amazon, and that word is spelled Blessons, Blessings.
Wonderful blessings. This has been tremendous. We thank you so much. We look forward to future additions to the series and to watch you grow and as you continue to do great things. And thank you so much for giving us your time And we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you, Tony B.
All right. Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.